6:15 sports time with Adam.
Morning, JR. Jeff Bezdelik is out as the head basketball coach at Wake Forest. Resigned yesterday after 4 seasons. Compiled a 51-76 overall record, just 17-51 in conference games. When asked why he was resigning, he said, quote, "There needs to be a new energy and a positive environment for the players to realize their potential," but he did say he believes the overall status of the program is very positive, the right players are in place, and they all have the values that are important to Wake Forest. No timetable on the hiring of a new coach, though, because athletic director Ron Wellman said that most of Wake's candidates are currently participating in postseason play, so he wouldn't expect a quick announcement on that. To the NCAA tournament, what's already being billed as one of the best first days in March Madness history. 4 games went to overtime. That's the first time that's ever happened. One of those games was NC State's, the 12 seed. Had a 16-point lead on the 5 seed St. Louis in the second half. Blew it in the extra frame, 83-80. You heard it right here on WSJS. ACC Player of the Year, TJ Warren, kept his team in the game, did a really nice job. 28 points, led all scorers, but when the team went to sleep last night, they were counting missed free throws, not sheep. NC State missed 17 of them in the game, including 8 from Warren. Now, if you're like me, your bracket's already in the garbage. It was busted yesterday, but we are not alone, friends. On ESPN.com, out of the 11 million brackets that were filled out, less than 19,000 of them, 0.17%, that are still perfect. Maybe Warren Buffett can offer some money to the imperfect brackets. I don't know about you, but I think I'm still in first place for that one. Dayton, Harvard, North Dakota State, they're all to thank for that. They had the upsets. In the South, Florida, Pitt, Syracuse. In the East, it was Michigan State, UConn, and Villanova. They all won. The Midwest had Michigan, Texas on a buzzer beater, and Louisville. And in the West, it was San Diego State, Oregon, and Wisconsin all advancing. Sports at 15:45 every morning on the Triads First News. Adam Feldfogel back with you inside the IMG Network studios. Quick scoreboard update and a big upset to let you know about from around the top 25. Colorado, unranked on the year, nailed a buzzer beater to shock number 6 Kansas, 75-72. Askia Booker hit a shot from downtown as time expired. The Buffaloes improved to 9-1 on the year. As for the Jayhawks, after winning their first 5 games of the season, they've dropped 2 of their last 3 and dropped from number 2 in the polls to number 6, and they will soon drop even further. Back out to the Sun Dome, Jim and Todd, guys. All right, John, thank you so much. We will send it back out to you guys in just a little while for the call of the game. But now it is my turn to welcome you inside our WAER studios at the corner of Euclid and Ostrom, right here on the SU campus. As the guys mentioned, I'm your host, Adam Feldfogel. So glad you've joined us today. Hope you're staying warm wherever you may be right now. And thank you for making us a part of your Saturday evening plans. Jam-packed show coming up over the next half hour or so, leading up to Syracuse and Notre Dame at the top of the hour. In just a couple of minutes, John Nolan, who you just heard from, he'll tell you about how the young guards on the Fighting Irish have filled the unenviable role of replacing injured star Tim Abromaitis. Then we'll learn about the effect that the Orange being 20-0 has had on the Syracuse community as a whole. And, of course, we'll have Mike Check for you with Doris Burke from ESPN and a trip into the Orange Archive, all the good stuff you've come to know and love from us here at WAER. But before we get to the game, we start with a developing story for the SU basketball team this afternoon. Just a couple of hours ago, the Syracuse Athletic Department issued a statement saying, quote, "Sophomore Fab Melo is not with the team for the current road trip, which includes games against Notre Dame tonight and against Cincinnati January 23rd, end quote. In addition to Melo, another player on the team was also addressed. The statement continued, quote, "Junior Mookie Jones has left Syracuse University for personal reasons and currently is not a member of the team. Given university policy and federal student privacy laws, we are not able to provide any further details at this time," end quote. Some more adversity for the number 1 Orange to overcome following the Bernie Fine allegations back in November. Of course, if we get any new information during the game, we will pass it along to you. But now we turn our attention to the team on the court, fresh off its 71-63 win over longtime rival Pittsburgh Monday night. All the talk this week has been about the history made in that game. The Cuse moved to 20-0 on the season for the first time in school history, breaking the previous record of 19-0 set by the 1999-2000 squad. Certainly a historic milestone for the team, but don't ask Jim Boeheim if that carries much weight in his book.
No significance, none whatsoever, none. The only thing I care about is this year. That's it. What we're doing this year. Everything else is, that's something when you get real old, like about next year, I'll think about it.
Coach Boeheim never wanted to put too much importance on records and milestones unless they include cutting down the nets in March, but more on that a little bit later. Some of the players on this team weren't quite as blunt as Jim Boeheim was when addressing the record. Some, like Chris Joseph, even found happiness in it.
I've been a part of history a couple times here. The 34,000 crowd, this right here. It's a great feeling. All those things right there is, you get remembered. You'll never be forgotten. Those scenes will never be forgotten. That's a great thing. And, tonight was for Coach, and we're glad we got this win.
And it was for Coach because the win was Boeheim's 876th career victory, moving him into a tie with legendary Kentucky head coach Adolph Rupp for 4th on the all-time wins list, so congratulations, Coach. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of the 20-0 start is how the team has responded following the sexual abuse allegations against former assistant head coach Bernie Fine. If you can believe it, that happened all the way back in November already, and the team seemingly has not missed a beat. Syracuse Post-Standard beat writer Bud Poliquin tries to explain how the team has been able to put the blinders on and just concentrate on winning games.
While it's impressive what they've done, it surprises me not at all. I don't think the Bernie Fine thing was ever going to affect the players. It certainly was going to affect administration. It's certainly going to affect the coaching staff. But I just don't believe that the players ever were going to care enough or be affected enough to have the on-court product jeopardized.
You can hear a little bit more from Bud on the record of 20-0 and how it's had an effect on the city of Syracuse in a few minutes here on Countdown to Tip-Off. As we've all witnessed, the success of the Syracuse Orange hasn't been impeded too much this season. Only 5 out of the 20 games have been decided by single digits. It's pretty impressive. The team is seemingly poised and prepared to make a run at games in late March, and it's led by a cast of many. The headliner is senior guard Scoop Jardine, coming off his second double-double of the season Monday against Pittsburgh, 12 points and 10 assists. Even Coach Boeheim is singing praise for Scoop.
He is the leader of this team, the only vocal leader, a guy that'll make plays. He's not afraid to make plays, and he can make plays, and he can make good plays. And when he shoots the ball good, he's one of the best point guards in the league. If not the best point guard, he's definitely one of the best point guards in this league.
Certainly high acclaim for Jardine from his Hall of Fame head coach, and it definitely seems like Scoop's head is in the right place for this team to continue its successful run. He certainly knows how monumental Monday night's record-setting win was, but he says it's time to move on.
It's special, and it don't stop here. My teammates, we don't even look at that we number one in the country or even that we undefeated. The focus right now is on Notre Dame and knowing we can go down there and can be beaten if we don't go down there and play the right way. And if we keep that attitude, we going to do something special.
Well, thank you for the segue, Scoop, as we now focus on tonight's game against Notre Dame. The Cuse holds a 24-18 edge over the Fighting Irish all time and is currently working on a 3-game winning streak against the boys from South Bend. Chris Joseph knows it won't be an easy test, but still seems confident.
We've been there before. We just got to get the younger guys on board and let them know how it's going to be. And we're going to stick to our principles on both ends of the floor, and we should be fine.
Well, if you can believe it, Notre Dame actually finished ahead of Syracuse in the Big East regular season standings last year, but not even halfway through the conference schedule this year, Notre Dame waltzes in with an 11-8 record against the undefeated Orange, and you're all but assured that that won't happen again. WAER's John Nolan takes us inside the world of Notre Dame basketball and lets us know why there's been such a switch-up for the Fighting Irish this year. You lead a busy life and you need technology that can keep up. With Time Warner Cable, you can experience TV, internet, and home phone that work with the way you live. TV that brings you the best in home entertainment, internet that lets you download movies and music in a flash, and digital home phone that gives you lots of ways to stay connected wherever you are. Your life just got simpler with Time Warner Cable. Call 1-800-TW-CABLE today to get TV, internet, and home phone. Some restrictions apply. Call for details. to 3, Pittsburgh a winner over Virginia in Heinz Field on homecoming this afternoon. Adam Feldfogel back with you inside our IMG Network studios. And just a reminder that our tailgate product of the week is brought to you by ConAgra Foods and Hungry for Football. Today's tailgate product of the week is Rotel and the famous queso dip. Kick up your game day recipes. ConAgra Foods and Hungry for Football make every game day legendary. Score crowd-pleasing recipes and play the daily instant win game at hungryforfootball.com. Time now for today's Casa d'Oro Diamond Player of the game, and it's a freshman wide receiver who has made some amazing strides in a very short amount of time. He was averaging almost 105 yards per game coming into today, which was good for 3rd in the ACC and 18th in the nation. Today he did just as much damage, and here's just a little of what it sounded like.
2nd down and 9. Looks it over and Once again, he's going to Tyler Boyd, and once again, Tyler Boyd hauls it in. A circus catch at the 46-yard line for a Panther first down.
A beautiful throw by Tom Savage. Fades Tyler Boyd to the sideline. This kid's focus on the football is uncanny. He's able to track the ball in the air, understand where he is on the playing surface, get his feet in bounds, and what an absolutely phenomenal catch.
You heard Pat say it. What incredible focus on the ball. Freshman wide receiver Tyler Boyd with 7 receptions and 111 yards is today's Casa d'Oro Diamond Player of the Game. Brought to you by Casa d'Oro. Panthers fans, to receive your $100 gift certificate to Casa d'Oro, text GIFTS, GIFTS, to 67463. Casa d'Oro, the official jeweler of Pitt football. This segment of the postgame show was brought to you by Rotel and the famous queso dip. Kick up your game day recipes and score crowd-pleasing recipes at hungryforfootball.com. Scores from the ACC coming up next when we continue here on the Pitt IMG Sports Network as part of the inaugural ACC season of Pitt football presented by Barrel Automotive.
While the Johnnies rest, we keep working. The Metro PCS Halftime Report continues here on the St. John's IMG Sports Network.
And the Johnnies earned that rest. A 33-20 lead over Marquette after 20 minutes of play in Madison Square Garden. Big first half again. After being down 6-0, they go on a 33-14 run to end the half and lead it 33-20. Adam Feldfogel back with you inside our IMG Network studios as we continue on the Metro PCS Halftime Report. Take a look at some top 25 scores. Only 2 games going on as we speak right now. Number 11 Kentucky on the road at Missouri, and the Wildcats holding a slim 3-point lead as they approach the under 8 timeout in the first half, 24-21. But an all top 25 matchup going on in Madison, Wisconsin this afternoon. 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Number 24 Ohio State, number 14 Wisconsin. It is the Badgers up by 6. 54-48. Again, about 6 minutes to go in that game in Madison, Wisconsin. The 2 highlight games coming up later tonight, the top-ranked team and then the second-ranked team, both in action. Number 1, Arizona at California in Berkeley, a 10:30 tip there. Wildcats lucky to still be undefeated on the season. They got their toughest test on Wednesday from Stanford. Won it just by 3 points, courtesy of a 3 with 51 seconds to go. 60-57. They take on a 14-7 Cal Golden Bears team on the road this evening. And then the big one today, former Big East school Syracuse, the second-ranked team in the nation, 20-0 for the second time in 3 seasons, trying to go to 21-0, which would be their best start in program history. They host number 17 Duke in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse at 6:30. The first time since 1975 that we've had 3 undefeated teams left as we start February. That's Arizona, Syracuse, and, of course, Wichita State out of the Missouri Valley Conference. The Orange improved to 20-0 on Wednesday. Big win over Wake Forest. Again, that tied the best start in program history. The Blue Devils come in winners of 5 straight off a big win in number 18 Pitt on Monday, 80-65. And in Pitt's, of course, 2 members of the 900 win club, the 2 winningest coaches in Division I basketball against each other, Jim Boeheim and Mike Krzyzewski. In our game, 33-20. St. John's leads Marquette at the Garden at the half. When we come back, John Minko, Brandon Tierney will take you through some stats of the first half. That's after this as we continue on the Metro PCS Halftime Report on the St. John's IMG Sports Network.
Viva Italia! You and a friend could be going to Rome. Enter to win the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Escape to Rome giveaway, courtesy of Delta Airlines, Delta Vacations, and Pittsburgh International Airport. The grand prize includes round-trip Delta flights for 2 from Pittsburgh to Rome and your choice of any Delta Vacations hotel in Rome. But hurry, you only have until Friday, March 15th to enter, so pronto. Register to win every day at the Post-Gazette's website, www.post-gazette.com/Rome, and you could win an escape to Rome.
The relationship between a player and a coach generally ends when they walk off the field, but not this one. Not for freshman linebacker Dyshawn Davis and linebackers coach Dan Conley. It's more like the connection between a father and a son. It all started for Conley the second he saw Dyshawn, a wide receiver and safety in high school, take charge in a new position.
He was a guy that, he played some safety in high school, but he never played the linebacker position, but he caught on really quickly. And I remember just within the first couple of practices, I said, wow. Because there's times when you move some safeties to the linebacker position and they don't have that contact. So there's a special kind of kid that can move from a wide receiver to a safety down to a linebacker, and he's one of those guys. So he's developing every day as a football player, and he continues to succeed academically in the classroom.
But that wasn't necessarily the case at first. Dyshawn credits Conley with really steering him in the right direction.
It helped me become a better student. I tried my best, to be on time for things. That's something that I've been having trouble with. Coach Conley has been doing a good job of making sure, calling me, making sure I'm on time, helping me manage my schedule the right way. He's been really positive.
According to Coach, the teaching all began on the academic side, not the football side, harping on the importance of going to class.
Something as simple as making sure that you have your notebook and your pen, not taking for granted that these guys have the academic skills. So it really started from the beginning, and he did so well last spring. He made the honors roll. So it was exciting for me as a football coach for him to have the academic success.
Conley says getting 18-year-olds like Dyshawn to trust and believe in him and the lessons he's teaching is the toughest part of coaching. But Davis seemed to have faith in his coach right from the get-go.
When they open up and they say, Coach, I'm in, I'm all in. Whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. That's when you really, A, can get close to them, B, you can develop them as young men. And Dyshawn, really, within the first month or so of him being here, he just kind of opened up. But he was just like attached. And it was pretty cool.
And that attachment to those lessons is really paying off on the field for Dyshawn.
Under pressure, though, Dyshawn Davis drags down Probst for a sack. Back to pass. He's hit and sacked. Dyshawn Davis.
Nova back to throw, under pressure, and he's dropped in the backfield for a loss. Dyshawn Davis with another sack. What a game the linebacker has had today for Syracuse.
But it goes so much further than the play on the field. Conley has given Davis a lifestyle change that's made him a better person, both inside and out.
Off the field, you just been telling me about I want to be, 5 minutes, 10 minutes early, to every meeting I'm attending, be well prepared, look presentable all the time, I represent not only myself, but, my family, the school. I represent a lot of people with that S on my chest.
Or as Coach Conley puts it, the smaller things that no one ever pays attention to make the biggest differences.
Down here in the facility, if there's a piece of trash on the floor, we're constantly telling our kids, hey, this is your home, pick it up. Coach Ramon always talks about the little things. It's as little as that. One of the offensive players asked me in the locker room, he goes, Coach, you really think that'll help us become better football players? I go, yeah, I think so. And then I stopped. I went, no, I'm 100% sure it will. Because if you start taking care of the little things in your life, being on time for class, being prepared, not showing up to class and saying, homework, taking care of all those little things will help, because as you get into a game type atmosphere and all of a sudden they line up an empty backfield and you don't miss an empty check, or they line up in Wildcat, you don't miss those things. It's the way that you live your life.
So Coach Conley has obviously become a mentor for Dyshawn and many members of the team as a coach, but his playing experiences have also set an example. Conley was a 4-year standout for Syracuse, setting the record for tackles by a freshman with 126 in 1990. He was also a team captain in '94 and was named to the Syracuse University All-Century team. And it's really been an incredible teaching tool for Davis.
We all pretty familiar how good of a linebacker Coach Conley was, all the good things he did on the field. So, having someone that's a mentor like that, being on top of you, that want us to be better than what he did, is just great knowing that. So especially because he played here. So he's been in the position we've been in. So he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing.
Dyshawn is even closer to his coach than one might think, though. He's just one sack away from tying the freshman record of 5 set by Coach Conley, and Coach was honored to learn that.
I hope our linebackers break every record that I ever had. I hope they break every record, because my only concern is that our kids play like they played last week, that they have fun, they play fast, they play hard, and they play with an attitude.
And that's exactly what Dyshawn does, but he was a little more open to expressing his excitement about the record.
It's just triggered me to, just go out there and, play balls out now. I'm looking forward to getting this 2 more sacks. Oh, man, this is going to be great.
That excitement from Dyshawn doesn't just come from being close to any old record. It's a record held by a man who's been nothing short of a father figure to him since he got to Syracuse. and it's a role Conley has embraced.
I always tell the moms and dads, I say, listen, when you guys drop your kids off, I'm going to be there, whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Young kids make bad decisions. Adults make bad decisions. It's our responsibility as coaches to educate our kids to make good decisions. So, yeah, I'm sure you could put that into a father figure, a mentor, but that's what makes the job so fun, because it's not just coaching football. That's really the last thing we do all day, so that's why I do it.
And it's that care both on and off of the football field that's won Dyshawn's heart.
He's taking me as a son, everything is working out pretty good, and I'm loving the relationship between us two.
Dan Conley is a coach on the field, but he's also a coach in life. Most importantly, he's an unforgettable role model for Dyshawn Davis. Adam Feldfogel, WAER Sports.
This is the Golden Eagle postgame show. Now for a final look at scores. This is the Forest General Scoreboard Report. Forest General, providing world-class health care for over 60 years. Now to the IMG Network studios, here's Adam Feldfogel.
Wow, what a game. What a second half for Southern Miss. Just when it looked like they may lose their grip on it just a little bit, players just come through in the clutch. Mike Craig, a few big alley-oops. He had dunks. He had layups. He was all over the place. Aaron Brown and ones and threes all over the place. Davion Boardingham, Gerald Brooks, Neil Watson, Chip Armlin. Everybody getting into the act tonight. A 64-56 win for Southern Miss over UTEP in the quarterfinals of the Conference USA tournament. It puts them into the semifinals against either Charlotte or Louisiana Tech. And I can tell you that with about 13 and a half minutes to go in the first half, Louisiana Tech, the 1 seed in the tournament, leads Charlotte, the 9 seed in the tournament, 18-11. I'll give you one more look at that before we sign off for the night. I'm Adam Feldfogel with you inside our IMG Network studios, and a sigh of relief over a big win for the Golden Eagles. John mentioned the first time that Southern Miss has ever knocked off the host team in the conference tournament, the first time since 1950 that the Golden Eagles have won in El Paso. Wow. Let's take a look at the other games, and we'll tell you who's going to join Southern Miss in the semifinals. The first game is set. We've told you about this one. The 2-seed Tulsa, no problems at all with the 7-seeded Tulane Green Wave. Golden Hurricane won at 70-49. James Woodard had 24 points. A couple of big runs in the second half, 12-1 run and 22-4. So those really sparked the 21-point win for the Golden Hurricane again, 70-49. The 9th straight win for the Golden Hurricane, which will be tough to beat by Middle Tennessee, the 3 seed in the tournament. They got past 6-seeded Old Dominion, 62-48. Nico Hunter had 16 points on the day for the Blue Raiders, and he led 3 Middle Tennessee players in double figures. So that's the first semifinal right there. Number 2 Tulsa, number 3 Middle Tennessee. It is a 3 o'clock Central Time tip. That game will precede ours. The one big question at this point is, who will Southern Miss be playing? It's either Charlotte or Louisiana Tech. It's now a 5-point game, 18-13, as Charlotte has tacked on a bucket. Let's tell you about a couple of the other games going on that already happened today. The Big East had a couple of real thrillers today. Top seed in the Big East tournament was Villanova. They were bounced by Seton Hall today, 64-63 on a buzzer-beating shot. So Villanova, which will obviously be in the NCAA tournament, they were the 3rd-ranked team in the country heading into conference tournament week, leaves this tournament just a little early. Creighton then beat DePaul tonight, so Creighton moves into the semifinals of the Big East tournament. It was a pseudo-knockout game between Providence and St. John's. Both teams on the bubble needed the win in order to bolster their candidacy to get into the tournament, and Providence beat St. John's 79-74 despite losing a double-digit lead with 6 minutes to go. The Johnnies came back and tied it but couldn't get over the edge. Providence won it by 5, so their hopes are still alive. For the Johnnies, they are as good as in the NIT at this point. A couple other games. Louisville, a 61-point win over Rutgers, 92-31. It's the most lopsided victory for any team in any conference tournament since 1993. A couple of former CUSA teams in the AAC tourney going at it. Houston knocked out SMU 68-64, and then Memphis, number 19 in the country, and number 21 Connecticut are going at it right now as we speak. 41-27, UConn leading Memphis at the half. That game being played in Memphis, Tennessee, where the AAC championship is. That will do it for us. Big win for Southern Miss, 64-56 over the host team UTEP and 5 seed in the tournament. It put Southern Miss into the semifinals. They join Tulsa and Middle Tennessee. Who will join them? That is the big question. We await on that with Charlotte and Louisiana Tech. A 5-point game, 12 minutes to go, 18-13. Louisiana Tech in the lead. We'll let you know about the broadcast time for tomorrow. John told you about it. Our courtside show is going to be with you at 5 o'clock, and then it's Southern Miss against either Charlotte or La Tech, 5:30 tomorrow night. For John Cox, I'm Adam Feldfogel saying see you from our IMG Network studios. Thank you for hanging out with us, everybody. What a game it was. Your final score for the final time. Southern Miss beats host team UTEP 64-56. It's Southern Miss to the top and right into the semifinals. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and good night from the IMG Network studios.